I'm Nora Walsh with Healthy Balance Fitness, and I'm here to help you thrive through every stage of life by increasing your strength, your flexibility, and your overall well-being. I'm going to share 6 different exercises that you can do as a runner or a walker to help you increase your strength and mobility. As we get out the door and we pound on the pavement, walking and running, we think that our legs are really strong, but there are oftentimes a lot of muscular imbalances. Stronger muscles might take over where your weaker muscles need a little bit help. So I'm going to share these 6 different exercises to help you increase that muscular balance and feel strong and help to avoid injury. So one area that causes a lot of injuries is actually a weakness in our hips and our glutes. Our hamstrings and our quads are often so used to firing that our glutes don't fire and take the action that we need them to. So one way to help improve that is by doing a deadlift, and specifically a single leg deadlift, so you can work on the imbalances that you have. So there's a couple of different ways to do a single leg deadlift. First is you can do it in a kickstand format. So that is where you're up on your toes on one leg and your weight is through your heel on the other. The key is that this is a hip hinge motion. So you want to press your hips back behind you, and you want to keep your chest lifted and your arms down right in front of you. And you're going to hinge your hips back and slide your hands down while keeping your chest up, feeling that through your hamstring and your glute on the leg that is firmly planted on the floor, and then squeeze your glute as you stand up. So go ahead and hinge back and then squeeze your glute as you stand up. Hinge back and squeeze your glute as you stand. You can inhale as you go down, exhale as you go up, inhale as you go down, exhale as you go up. Hinging, keeping your chest lifted, weight through the heel on the ground, and really squeeze that glute as you come up. Good, let's do 2 more here. And 1 more. Then we're going to switch. I'm going to turn sideways on this one. So your weight is firmly planted through your heel. You are up on the toes in the other leg. This is a kickstand format. Your hips are going to press back. Your chest is lifted. Feel that through your hamstring and your glute, and stand up. Really activate your glute as you stand, pressing your hips back. Always engaging through your core. Inhale as you go down, exhale as you go up. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Let's do 3 more. 2, and 1 more. Great. Now, that's a kickstand format, so that's kind of the beginner level. To do it a little bit more advanced, you do a single leg lift, placing your weight through that heel. Instead of the kickstand, what you're going to do is your leg is going to go back and you're going to come up. So you're hinging your hips back and you're going to come up. So this takes a little bit more balance and control. You definitely can hold on to something if you need to, put your fingertips on it. You're going to go down and come up, down and come up. Really, again, squeezing your glute. To show you on the other side, down and come up, down and come up. Great. You can also make this harder by grabbing a set of weights, holding the weights in front of you. Make sure that weight is anchored through your heel. Your hips are going to hinge back. You're going to go down and come up, just like that. Great, so that's the single leg deadlift with kind of a beginner, intermediate, and advanced motion to do it. The next exercise I'm going to show you is a lateral squat. Now, This again is isolating or focusing on your hips. We're going to be doing a walking or a moving squat by going lateral. So you're going to step out to the side, squat your hips back, step up to center, step out to the side, your hips drop back, step to center. You want to make sure that your knees stay right on top of your heels, and then you would just go back. And you can do, depends how much room you have, but you can do 3 steps out each side, or if you have a longer hallway, you can step out further. Great. Hips go back, and then you press up. Great. So if you wanted to make this harder, you could take a loop and put the loop around your ankles or your thighs. And that's going to give you a little bit of resistance, and you're going to step out with your hips back. Good. So again, we want to fire those glutes, and we're working your hips, and this controls your hip drop when you're running. So often when you have weak hips, you're going to experience knee pain or IT band issues. So the importance of our hips and glutes is really important. So that is our lateral squat with and without resistance there. Okay, the next is our calves. So we're focusing down on the lowest portion of your legs, and our strength comes from our foot up, and calves take the brunt every time your foot hits the floor. You're going to feel that in your calf. So you might think that your calves are really strong, but often they might need a little bit help firing. So you can do it with your feet hip width apart, and all you're going to do is lift up onto your toes and then come down. So you want to keep your knees slightly bent. Control your pelvis, so drawing your abs in and up and down. Now, I always like to do things in a single leg format, so you can put your toes and then just lift up, or you can cross your ankle in the back and lift up and down and feel that single leg. Sometimes when we do both legs at the time, our stronger leg is going to take over. So when we can isolate it to a single leg movement, you really get that leg activating for you. Good. So if you need to hold on to something, you can hold on to a wall. You can hold on, if you're outside before or after your run, you can hold on to a light pole, anything that you need to. So you can do, of all of these exercises, you can do 8, 10, 15 repetitions. You want to feel fatigue in the muscles that you're working, but stay in the proper format. Okay? And you can do anywhere from 1, 2, 3 sets. It depends really how much time you have. You get the most benefit out of the first set, a little bit more out of the second, and a little bit more out of the third. You don't need to do more than 3 sets of anything. So those are calf raises, and then isolating it into single leg calf raises. And again, if you wanted to make it harder, you could always just pick up a set of weights up and down just like that. Great. Okay, so the next exercise I'm going to show you is, again, a muscle that we often don't think about, and that is our shin. When we think about it, it's often because we have shin pain or you feel shin splints. That can be caused by a weak muscle. It can also be caused by a broken down shoe. So I always say, if you are feeling aches and pains in your joints, it can be muscular weaknesses. Also take a look at your running shoes. If they're broken down, that often is the first sign you might need a new pair of shoes. So to work your shin, it's a really basic exercise. I want you to imagine as if you have a string attached to your toes, and it's just like a puppet, and you're just going to be lifting your toes up and down. So tap, 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 tap. And do 1 foot at a time. And you want to tap here until you feel the burn. So often that can be 15 repetitions, it can be 20, maybe more. This is something we can all do, but you'll start to feel the burn there. And then I want you to challenge yourself a little bit more and tap in and tap out, tap in and tap out, keeping your heel on the ground and just alternating your foot back and forth. You're gonna feel the burn for sure. Do side to side a few times, maybe 5 to 10 times each way. And then come back out in front and continue tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Feel the burn almost till you feel like you can't lift your toes anymore. Good. Okay, then to stretch that out, you can dig your shoelaces into the ground and then drag your foot forward. And then you can do some ankle rotations there. Great. Okay, and let's do the other side. So you're standing on one leg, placing your weight through that leg, and the other is anchored your foot, and you're just going to tap. Tap, 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 up and down. Keep tapping. Great. Feel that burn start to happen. When you feel that burn start to happen, then tap in and tap out. Keeping your heel on the ground, keep tapping in and out, in and out. It feels tired, you feel fatigue, good. Keep going. And then come back to center and then continue tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Keep tapping, feel that burn until you almost can't lift your toes anymore. Good, and then take a break, and then let's stretch it out. So put your toes into the floor, and then you're going to drag your foot forward, and then you can do an ankle rotation in each direction. Great job, shake your legs out. Okay, while we're standing, I'm gonna show you a standing hip flexor stretch. Our hip flexors get overworked for sure as runners. When I think 2 of the hardest things on your hip flexors are either running or actually sitting because they're in a contracted position. So always good to stretch out your hip flexors. So how you do that is you take 1 foot behind you, 1 foot in front of you, and then you want to draw your belly button toward your spine and tuck your hips underneath you. And you should feel that open up through your hip flexor. Hold that there. If you aren't quite feeling that stretch, you might want to emphasize really tucking your hips, tightening your glutes, drawing your belly button in. It might be the position of that back leg. You might need to bend your knee a little bit more. But if you're a runner, you'll probably feel this for sure. And holding a stretch for about 15 to 30 seconds on a side is good. And then you can tuck your hips under, draw your belly button towards your spine. Good. Make sure you're feeling that stretch right through your hip flexor. Great, and then relax. I'm going to take you down to the ground to show you a core exercise. And it's amazing how much we actually utilize our core when we're out walking and running. You don't maybe realize how much you're using it, but that's what helps you keep your posture up. It's what helps keep your diaphragm open. So I'm going to have you come down to the ground. You're going to lie on your back. And you're going to have your knees bent, feet flat on the ground, your arms straight up. And then I'm going to have you bring your legs up into a tabletop position. And I'm going to have you extend your left leg and your right arm back. This is a dead bug. and then you're gonna bring that up. And then extend your left arm and your right leg and bring it up. And you just alternate sides here, down and up. So this is working your core. You want to try to keep your back pressed into the ground by drawing your belly button toward your spine. You want your core to be doing that motion here. So you can inhale as you kick out, exhale as you bring it in, inhale out, exhale in, inhale out, exhale in, inhale out, exhale in, inhale, and exhale. Good. If you need a modified version of this, you can kick your legs straight out like doing a heel slide, but keep your arms moving. The start position is right out in front of your shoulder there. And again, even if you're doing this, you want to keep your back pressed into the floor. Again, you can do 8, 10, 15 repetitions on each side. Good. And then when you're done with that, you can hug your legs in toward your chest and rock side to side. Maybe move your knees around in a circular motion. Great. Okay, and then I'm going to have you actually turn over and come up into a lunge position. I'm going to show you a different version of a hip flexor stretch from the ground, which sometimes if you're in your home and you can be down on the ground, or if you have grass, it's great and convenient. If you are running out, it might be hard for you to kneel on concrete, but this is a great way to get a hip flexor stretch. So you have one foot in front and you're on your knee in the back, and you're going to slide your hips forward. Again, tuck your glutes, drawing your belly button in, and you'll feel that through the hip flexor on the back knee. Let me do this side for you so you can see. Your hips are tucked. You can bring your upper body down just to put your fingers down, or you can stay up in this position here. And you feel a good stretch through that hip flexor. So this is just a different version of that standing hip flexor stretch that we did. Great. So those are 6 different exercises that you can do to help you strengthen your lower body, working your core, focusing on those muscular imbalances, and really those areas that runners and walkers need to focus on the most. And that's your hips and your glutes, so that we can get those firing for you to get your body moving in a fluid, feeling good motion, and so you feel really strong. Again, you can do these exercises 2 to 3 times a week, anywhere from 2 to 3 sets, depending how much time you have. And the goal would be to fatigue your muscles. So anywhere from 8, 10, 15, maybe 20, 25 repetitions. But make sure that you're in the right form. If you need a modification, please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help you.